Welcome back to the Ipswich Town View. We are going to be reviewing Ipswich Town's away record this season, and we're also asking that big question: is 2 weeks off going to hinder Ipswich Town in their biggest week yet? 3 games to get to the Premier League, and of course, we're going to have a chat to our resident tractor boy, Ian. How are you? Nervous?
Yeah, it's nervous because yes, we've got 3 games left to run, but there's so much happens before we even get to kick a ball. We've got games this week while we're recording. Leicester could already be promoted by the time this goes out on Thursday. So yeah, it's a lot. There's a lot to think about. We are in that position where we'll have a couple of games left over everybody else.
Do you prefer it to be in your hands? I mean, it's a stupid question because, of course, you would, but some of Leeds fans will say, no, actually, we like putting the pressure's all on Ipswich.
Points on the board. That's all I'll say. I'd much rather have the points on the board now. It's nice to think we've got 2 games in hand, but Southampton was saying that a couple of weeks ago, and that didn't work out. I would much rather we had the points on the board, and let it be in other people's hands.
Okay. Which of the 3 do you think is going to be your toughest game of the ones you've got left? Got Hull, which we'll talk about in a minute. Coventry, Huddersfield. I think
probably will be the Hull. It's going to be difficult to see how Coventry. I think if we were playing Coventry this weekend, that'd be interesting to see how they bounce back from that really unfortunate loss at Wembley. I think that if they'd have won at Wembley, would have been benefit us because they wouldn't want to get injured before the cup final. It's interesting. Huddersfield and Coventry coming up in a couple of weeks. Their season could be over, so therefore they've got nothing to play for. That might make it easier for us. I'd like to think that Huddersfield are already down. I don't want Huddersfield coming to Portman Road, fighting tooth and nail to stay up, because you know what happens then. Everything goes out the window. Yeah. Although, if you get a quick goal against them, then you know there's another goal coming because they've got to come at you. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting. Coventry, obviously, and Hull both pushing to get into that playoff position. But that might be out of the hands, seeing what happens with Norwich.
Okay. Burns is back, I think.
Well, yeah, he's back on the grass. Whether like I said, I don't think he'll be coming straight back into the starting 11, but I wouldn't be surprised if he was on the bench, certainly this weekend against Hull. Might be a little bit early, we'll see. But, it's a good couple of weeks of getting laps in and getting reps on the grass, which has been really good to see. And again, George Hurst as well has made a much quicker recovery than first expected, although we've already got covered there with Kiefer Moore.
Yeah, okay. It is the last away games that we'll talk about on this channel. So I do want to just take this moment to look back at your favourite memories from this season of all the trips that you've made, and by goodness, you've put some miles in this season. And credit to all the Ipswich Town fans. I think I've always travelled in numbers, always travelled in good voice. Whenever you've been on the telly, I'll always hear them singing. And I think when I've watched even the Championship highlights back on a Saturday night, or never seems to be a spare ticket in that away end. So credit to you, Ipswich Town. What's been your favourite moment away from home?
This might not come to everybody's kind of first choice, but for me, it was an away game. Watford were on form at that point. They were looking to secure and consolidate in the playoff places at that point. And we came to Vicarage Road against a very confident Watford team. And Sam Morsey, our skipper, fantastic. Really potentially against the run of play, I don't know, but there was a really, really big statement win. I think it was about that point in the season where people had got over the thing of saying, "Oh, it's only 8 games in, it's only 10 games in." I think there's people thinking, "Oh, actually, this Ipswich team are fairly serious." So for me, that was a great win. Southampton away was a good win as well, but that was quite early in the season.
Yeah.
I think Watford was the point where we saw the first, the top 4 start to break away as well. So that for me would be a key game in the season.
Yeah, it must feel light years away, the Sunderland game of the season where you went to the Stadium of Light and surprised everyone and won there. And I think everyone, even after that, were going, "Oh well, it's they'll lose they'll lose the next one." And then you went away to QPR and won there, and then you went away to Sheffield Wednesday and won in Southampton and Bristol. Yeah, and even at that point, people are going, they'll fade away, and you never have. And I think it's been along with Coventry's story, has been great. I think this has been the story of the Championship this season. It's really, we hope it has a good ending. What's been the lowest point away from home?
Lowest point away from home is always going to have to be Norwich away. 15 years of tragedy. Yeah, I guess it's going to be Norwich. That said, if we're actually taking away the emotion of the derby, the rivalry, whatever you want to call it, the lowest point again, and then everyone says it's lucky FC. I mean, this would be really unlucky, and that was Cardiff away. It's only not so bad when you look at the way they repeated it last weekend as well against Southampton, because if we'd managed to hold on for that 3 points at Cardiff, then we would be sitting pretty at the top still, even after Leicester having won. So yeah, that's probably the most painful when it comes down to footballing. But without doubt, losing away at Carrot Road is probably the most painful.
Okay.
Sorry, Carrot Road.
No. All right, then let's get some score predictions from you. You're going to travel up to Hull. This is a stupid kickoff time, is it not? The Sky aren't helping any Leicester or Leeds or Ipswich, I don't think. We don't know we want to see the games, but come on, 8 o'clock?
Yeah, it means you haven't got to get off so early in the morning. But yes, it's a 2 or 3 o'clock morning return back home. And it's not the easiest place to go. I think they got their tails up. Great player. So yeah, I'll be looking for us to get a cheeky 2-1 win away.
Okay.
And to get those 3 points that we really need to kind of keep the pace up and make Leeds really work if they want to get into second position.
And presumably you'll be cheering on Birmingham this weekend as they travel in the massive relegation decider this weekend, yeah?
Every week, I think Ipswich had another team to follow. It was, I think, our last home game, I was watching the Blackburn Leeds game in the concourse before the kickoff of the Ipswich game, and against Middlesbrough, and the cheer when Blackburn scored, it was as if we'd actually just scored a home goal. It echoed around the ground. So there's a lot of teams. Like I said at the start of the season, it's not going to be about just the top teams. It's about everybody. Everybody plays their part in who goes down and who goes up. And I think that's why the Championship is just a standout league in probably world football, not just in England.
Absolutely. And we've got no VAR to wreck it as well.
Yeah,
absolutely. Right, we are all on this journey. We'll be watching 8 o'clock Saturday night, Hull City against Ipswich Town. And next week is the last one. We'll talk about Ipswich Town versus Huddersfield Town. Absolutely. Enjoy it, Ian. We'll catch you next week. Cheers very much.
Cheers then, guys. Take care.